Good morning, everyone, and happy International Women's Day. Welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask them in the comments of the live feed. If you need any more advice, then make sure you join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7 to help you. During the live session today, we're running a poll, so please do engage. I can't wait to see the results of the poll, and I'll make sure to reveal the results at the end. Make sure you're all registered for the QuickBook free annual conference, QuickBook Connect. I've got to get my words out there. And look out for the link in the chat to make sure that you can register and be there. The event is taking place virtually tomorrow, Thursday, the 9th and 10th of March. And this event brings together entrepreneurs, small business owners, and accountants together to grow, learn, and connect. So welcome again. I know I've said that, but I'm really excited to be with you all today to celebrate International Women's Day. And today I am so privileged to be talking about changing the culture for working mums. And just by way of introduction, my name is Toby. I run My Bump Pay, and My Bump Pay is really a platform there to support women and to help them smash the glass ceiling with a baby on the way and beyond. And the whole idea is really helping women to achieve their goals in the workplace, outside of the workplace, throughout life in general, irrespective of having a child. And today I'm going to be talking all about changing the culture around working mums. And to do this, I thought I would start by telling you a little bit about my bump pay, why I started, and why I do this. So I had the interesting experience of being the very first person in my office location to actually go on maternity leave. And with that came many questions. I'm somebody who's extremely ambitious, not just in my professional life, but also in my personal life. And I had all these questions around how would I possibly achieve everything I wanted to achieve whilst raising a small family, whilst becoming a mum for the very first time. How was I going to do that inside of the workplace and outside of the workplace? And I started having lots of conversations with my friends who were all going through a very similar journey. And I literally became obsessed with uncovering and unpacking how women can still absolutely have every single ounce of success that they want to have, irrespective of having children, whilst growing their family and doing it along the way. So I decided to start my bump pay to help women do exactly this. It was a very interesting, unique position or unique way of doing it, because as I was learning on the journey and becoming a mum and doing all the things that I wanted to do and kind of going after my goals and pursuing my goals and learning exactly how to do that, I was taking people on, well, I was taking the community of my bump pay on that journey with me and doing exactly that, learning how to become a mum for the first time and learning exactly how could I balance everything that I wanted to have. Balance probably isn't the right word. It's more probably about blending. How could I blend my life as a mum, but also kind of going after my goals and going after my achievements? And I learned lots of things, but these are the things that I want to share with you today, exactly how I learned to do all of this. There's been lots of ups and downs, lots of ups in the sense that we've been able to grow the My Bump Pay platform and help so many women do this at the same time. And also professionally, I've been able to change roles, transition, gain more responsibility, and I now have two amazing children, but lots of downs at the same time. And I also share some of those challenges as I kind of document this journey on my bump pay. It's not easy, but I'm absolutely a big believer and a big supporter of women absolutely having success whilst they're having children, whether that's, running your small business, whether that's running your side hustle, and whether that's kind of transitioning from full-time work into running a business. So I believe that you have to be massively strategic about doing all of these things to make sure that you're still having the success that you've absolutely always dreamed of. And what do I mean by being strategic? Make sure that you have a really strong support network around you. That support network could be your family, your friends, your partners. It could be paid for childcare. It could even be your accountant and your team of people that you work with in your business. Make sure you share your ambitions with them. That might sound a little bit different because you may be thinking, actually, I like to keep my ambitions and my dreams to myself. But actually, by sharing your ambitions with them, it means that you're taking by sharing your ambitions with your network, your support network, it means that you're taking them on the journey with you. So let's say, for example, you have a big dream of doing a TED talk one day. And let's say Ted approach you and say, right, I want you to do this TED talk in 3 months' time on this particular topic. Would love to hear your story and love to hear your journey. If you share that ambition with your support network, you can say to them, look, I've had this brilliant opportunity to do something that I've always wanted to do. And they know that's something that is something that you've always wanted to do because you share that with them. They'll automatically, I guarantee you, they'll automatically be there for you, and they'll do whatever it takes. If they're people in your close network, they'll do whatever it takes for you to be able to go out there and actually nail it and actually do that brilliant TED talk. So that could be things around childcare, that could be giving you the space and the time that you need to prepare for that TED talk. It's just an example, but I'm a really big believer that sharing your goals and your ambitions and your dreams with your network is a really powerful thing to do. Secondly, how do we change the culture around working mums, and how do we be more strategic about having the success that we want to have as working mums? It's about confidence. Now, I've been on this huge journey of kind of growing my confidence. It's ups and downs, and there's lots of studies that actually say between 6 months of your child kind of being born, when their 6-month birthday, for example, if that's such a thing, all the way up to 2 years, that actually women experience a dip and a low in confidence. And there's so many reasons for that. And I'm sure some of you mums can probably resonate. You know, your body changes, you take a break out of your workplace or your business, and you start to question, do I actually have what it takes to go out there and make a success of myself? You absolutely do. And so I think it's really important to invest in your confidence. And it doesn't have to be a paid for investment. It could be just listening to podcasts, reading. At my Bump Pay, we run masterclasses to help women kind of make sure they're having a really confident return back into the workplace. So make sure that you invest in your confidence, especially if you've had a career break. And then the next thing, which is linked to confidence, is advocating for yourself. I think it's so important to celebrate your own successes, be your own hype woman, be your own best PR machine. Just make sure every single success that you have along the way, or anything that you're proud of in terms of your business life or professional life, and even your personal life, you're celebrating those moments. Don't be afraid as a business man or woman to put your successes out there. It's really important. If you don't do it, if you don't hype yourself up, nobody else will do it as well as you can on your behalf. And it's a brilliant way for people to get to know about you as a businesswoman, as a businessman, the business or the service that you're offering. So don't keep your successes to yourself, celebrate them. Social media has its ups and its downs, but it's actually a brilliant way to make sure that you're getting the message out there about all the successes that you're having along the journey with your business. And doing all of this, I promise you, really helps learn so much more about yourself, what you can offer to your community, to your customers, to your clients, but also to your family as you're raising lots of little children, and growing them alongside your business and alongside your professional life as well. So I hope I have encouraged you and inspired you to actually go out there and achieve your goals, and how we can do all of these things to change the culture around working mums, because I absolutely believe that working mums have so much more to offer in terms of really going out there, delivering, showing the world that we are incredible business people, and we have so much to offer on the table. So don't hold yourself back. Be a little bit more strategic in everything that you want to do. And I wish you all the very best in your business and professional ventures. I think we're going to go over to some questions now. Okay, wonderful. So we have a question from Philippa on Facebook, and she says, I'm actually a bit nervous about when I should start a family. My career is going really well at the moment, and I do want children, but I'm not sure if I'm financially stable enough to have a career break. How should I navigate this? Really good question. Philippa, I don't know what situation you're in at the moment, if you're employed, if you're self-employed, but I think if you are employed, let's just say, for example, I would have a look at things around kind of your company's maternity policy, and paternity policy, if that's relevant as well, potentially for your partner, and see how much you could be living on if you did decide to have a baby. And if you are self-employed, I kind of go through your numbers and look at how much you need to live on at the moment, and how much time potentially you'd want to take a break for having a baby and roughly how much that would cost you. You could potentially even do that exercise with your accountant if you have one and start to model out those figures. See where that takes you. Don't necessarily let the figures kind of hold you back and scare you, because I think sometimes if you look at all those numbers and at once, it can be really overwhelming. Realize that actually it's a monthly figure that you'll need to live on from month to month. And also once you are on maternity leave, for example, there'll be some costs that you don't actually have, so you can kind of strip those out of your equation. So I would kind of take a look at the financials and see what you need to live on, work them through with either your partner or potentially an accountant, to see if it's something that is a good thing that you can potentially afford. But at the same time, I would also say there are lots of little bits of government help. It's not a huge amount, but those things do absolutely definitely make a difference. So I can't run through all of them today, and I'm more than happy to kind of help navigate you to the right area for you to have a look at. But definitely do have a look, because it's definitely worth looking into if there's kind of government support that you are eligible for, because you don't have to do the journey on your own. I wish you the very best in your search and in your investigations. So the next question is from Liam on Twitter. How can my brand celebrate International Women's Day authentically and not just look as if we're jumping on trend? Such a good question, because I think International Women's Day, although it's wonderful that we have a day, it's something that I think we should be celebrating throughout the year. So Liam, I think it's probably a case of just tapping into how women play a role in your brand, in your business, in the community, and the clients that you're serving, but doing it throughout the whole year. So you might want to do it a couple of times a quarter, once a quarter, but just think of really authentic moments of ways that you can do it throughout the whole year. And then when it comes to International Women's Day, when you then, apologies, my alarm has now gone off. Sorry. When it then comes to International Women's Day, then it will then be a really seamless and authentic thing when it comes to you actually celebrating International Women's Day. So I hope that definitely helps. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So Nina on Facebook. So Nina says that she had, I'll start the question again. Nina says, I had my first child at the start of the first lockdown, and later I was made redundant. Really sorry to hear that. I feel like I'm now ready to get back into the working world now, but it's incredibly daunting. Any tips for getting back out there? It is incredibly daunting, but I think you've taken the first step in kind of making that commitment and saying to yourself, I feel like I am ready. But in terms of tips for getting back out there, I would start to have conversations with people that you know. It sounds really simple, and I promise you it is. And you could think about people that you know in sectors that you think that you may want to work in. So let's say, for example, you may want to work in the tech sector. Do you know anybody in tech? Just have conversations with them saying, this is my situation. I'm thinking of getting back into work after this period of redundancy. I'm really excited. I think these are my skill sets, or these are things that I'm really passionate about. These are things that I know that I can do really well. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your role, about your organization, and it'd be amazing if you could keep me in mind if anything comes up. Just by having those conversations, I think what it does is that it starts to give you a lot of clarity in terms of the things that you think that you do absolutely want to go for, the things that you don't necessarily want to go for, but it also starts to put you on the radar, people's radar, in terms of opportunities, because they'll start to talk about you to their wider network, and they may hear about opportunities that they will bring to you that may be relevant to the things that you want to do. So definitely start having conversations with people. I'm a big fan of podcasts, and there's so many great podcasts about kind of getting back into the workplace. I listen to those on walks, and they kind of give me the confidence to feel, right, I'm absolutely going to get out there. Also things like, make sure that you just have a look at your LinkedIn profile, make sure it's fit for purpose, fit for the things that you want to do. So let's say you are a HR professional, kind of have a read through and make sure that those things really stand out in terms of your experience, but not only your experience, your achievements, because those are the things that recruiters are really looking for. So good luck, Nina. I hope that helps. The next question is from Catherine on Twitter. In your own career, have you faced any gender-based discrimination at work, and how did you resolve it? It's a really good question. I don't think I've necessarily faced kind of gender-based discrimination, but I think in some ways, sometimes assumptions have been made about me as to whether I want to maybe go for a particular opportunity because I have children, let's just say. And I think my advice to anybody potentially in that situation would be make your ambitions known. Don't hide them. Don't keep them as your best kept secret. Be really clear, be really vocal about the things that you want to do and why, and also why you think you're the best person to actually go ahead and achieve those things. So, therefore, when people are thinking about opportunities, let's just say in the workplace or the wider business sphere, if you've made that ambition known, why you think you're exactly the right person to take on that particular opportunity, they should be thinking of you as somebody who can absolutely take on that opportunity. And another thing I would say is opportunities that come up within your passion area, grab them with two hands, deliver. And I think once people see that, then absolutely they will diminish the questioning of your ability to go out there and achieve something, irrespective of having children. And that's something that I found to be really powerful. So the next question is from Maya on Instagram, and she says that you spoke about actively promoting yourself and your business, but this is something I've always struggled to do. Firstly, I find it kind of uncomfortable. More so, it's finding the time and the right places. What should I be doing and where? It's a really good question. I think have a look at your business and think about who your target customer is. Where do they live? What do when I say where do they live, it's kind of where do they hang out? Is it kind of Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? What do they read? What lights them up? What do they find exciting? What do they find engaging? All of these questions will help you to kind of create this persona of the person that you should be speaking to, the individual that you should be speaking to, and which platform is the right platform to be speaking to them on. I find that you can't serve many masters, and therefore I think it's quite difficult to be present on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, because there's so many different platforms. So, for example, I've just chosen Instagram. That's where I feel my community is. That's where I can show authentically. LinkedIn is an option for me, but I don't think I can be as authentic as I would like to be to my audience on LinkedIn. So I've chosen Instagram. So I'd go through that kind of decision making matrix to find out where you should be showing up, because that will help you in the authenticity of your messages. Secondly, I totally admit it's not easy. It's taken me a long time, and I remember the first time kind of shaking, thinking, "Oh my goodness, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this?" In some ways, you just need to rip the band-aid off, and you can start just by introducing yourself, saying hello, who you are, what your business and what your service is about. If you have people on your team, for example, potentially you can start to kind of maybe use their content, or you could start by doing maybe a day in your life where you don't necessarily have to talk to camera the first time of doing it, but you could just show people a day in your life of your business and behind the scenes. People love that kind of stuff. They love to understand how everything kind of weaves together. And then once you do that, you can slowly start to kind of show your personality. You can engage with your community on social media, ask them what they need, ask them how their day's going, ask them how you can help them better. All these things I think just really help in terms of your confidence and kind of getting out there. I think always think of it as you're serving your community. Don't worry too much about what you look like, or too much about what you're saying, as long as we're adding value to your community. I found that it massively helps me. So we have another question from Anna on Facebook. Next month, I'll be going back to work after maternity leave. I've had a few kit days, brilliant, to check in, but it feels like a lifetime, and I worry that the business has changed a lot. Is this all in my head, or should I be preparing to relearn my job? Anna, it's probably largely all in your head. And the reason why is, one, you've done kit days, which is brilliant. So you're already out there doing the right type of thing. And for those who don't know, kit days are keeping in touch days. So those are days that allow you to kind of step back into the business for a period of time, usually a day or half a day, and kind of reconnect with the business, learn things, catch up, get up to speed. And in many companies, you have the opportunity to do up to 10 kit days during your maternity leave, and you're paid to do them, which is brilliant. And you'll probably find that once you start doing your job, it's almost like riding a bike when you haven't ridden a bike for the first time. You know, when you kind of first start riding a bike, it's like, okay, right, I can do this, I can do this. And then you pick up speed, and then you gain momentum, and you're like, actually, I know exactly how to do this. That's what returning back to work is like. And I also say, take the pressure off yourself a little bit in the first couple of weeks. Yes, there will be lots of changes, and that's absolutely fine. Very, very normal. And the way to cope with that is just by having conversations with key people within your organization who are probably a bit more on top of those changes than you are, and just ask them lots of questions. Take the pressure off yourself. Ask them, how have things been? What have been the key changes? How has that impacted the business? How has that impacted the business goals? What are the key goals at the moment? What is everybody focusing on? What have been some of the key challenges? How have you got around some of those challenges? Soak in that information, then go away, think about those responses, and then think about how your role can kind of integrate into some of those changes and perhaps um, be some of the solutions to some of the challenges that they're facing. So take the pressure off yourself, relax. You can totally do it. Ask smart questions, and then take it from there. Right, let me make sure. Lots of questions, which is brilliant. So let's go to the next one. Um, Genevieve on Instagram says, "What are your feelings on paternity leave as it stands currently? Is it enough? What what more could we have?" Love this question. So my feelings on paternity leave, they really vary. I think from sector to sector and company to company. There are some brilliant companies out there who actually have a matched paternity leave to their maternity leave offering. So let's say, for example, if they offer 6 months paid for maternity leave, then they actually offer 6 months paid paternity leave. The issue is, and it's actually a systemic issue, the issue is that what tends to happen is, on average, not in every relationship or partnership, but on average, because lots of men tend to earn more money, they feel that they can't necessarily take that risk of taking that time off, depending on what their paternity pay looks like, because obviously then they'll be missing a huge chunk of their income if they don't have a good paternity pay policy. So that's why you tend to have more women taking maternity leave for a longer period of time. Whereas when we have maternity leave and we have paternity leave, very sorry about this. I thought I had shut this thing down and it keeps going off. So where we have paternity leave and maternity leave to be equal, what that does is that it allows that woman to have a variety of options as to how much time she wants to take off, whether she wants to step back into her career a little bit earlier, which might be more beneficial for her depending on what she's doing. Um, and so therefore, that's where paternity leave works really, really well. As it stands, not many companies actually offer that kind of equal footing in terms of maternity leave and paternity leave, and therefore I think it's not enough in general, and we could be doing so much more. So those companies that have that equal offering, I think, are doing pretty much the gold standard, and I'd love to see more companies do more things like that to make sure more men are kind of getting involved, taking paternity leave, and therefore we're kind of leveling out what we sometimes call the motherhood penalty. Caitlin on Twitter has a question. How are you celebrating International Women's Day? Will you be taking any time out for you? It's a great question. Today, I was just saying before we came on, today it's quite interesting. Lots of events going on. I work full time as well, so lots of meetings. And then my son has a primary school event on today of all days. So I won't be taking time off for myself today, but I definitely will be to kind of, I think, probably just to reflect on everything that I've learned, everything that this journey has taught me, and everything that I have achieved, but not just myself, everybody in the community of my bump pay. I'm so proud of these women because I sit here and I kind of give advice, but actually they're the women that kind of go out every single day, choose to take on the advice, choose to speak up and to have those conversations, choose to work on themselves and build up on their confidence and kind of go for those opportunities. So they're the women that I really want to celebrate because I'm so, so, so proud of everything that they've achieved. So the next question is from Faye on Facebook, and she says, "I run a recruitment company and I really want to carry forward this whole break the bias thing." Brilliant. But I'd struggle to know what to say if somebody asked me what it really means about how businesses can make changes. What does it mean for you? It means so much in a business setting. And I think when it comes to working mums, for example, sometimes it's thinking about genuinely who is the best person in your business to take on a particular opportunity. Or in Faye, in your example, because you run a recruitment company, it's really thinking about, okay, right, of all the candidates that I have, for example, let's not write off the working mother potentially if she's going for a role. Make sure that she has an equal opportunity as any other candidate. And let's say if that candidate, the working mum, is potentially needs flexible working, as a recruitment as you running a recruitment officer, a recruitment company, I think you have a really powerful position to sell that in as something that's a real benefit for that particular organization, and saying, look, she's a brilliant candidate. She potentially wants to flex her hours slightly to work like this, but actually, I think that's a great example of somebody who can deliver within the hours, deliver what you need, but also sends a great example for that particular organization as being kind of really inclusive and wanting to make sure that they have a diverse workforce. So yeah, those are some of the things I would say from a recruitment company that you could do, but also internally is just making sure that every single person within your organization has equal opportunities, making sure that they're paid equally as well. That's something else that you as a recruitment company can make sure. I'm sure will see a plethora of salaries and salary offers, and it's encouraging women to making sure that they actually know their value when they're negotiating salaries, and not just kind of taking the first offer that comes in necessarily, if let's say a man is kind of promoting themselves at a slightly different salary level. So I think, Faye, you're in a brilliant position to be able to kind of help the bias in several different ways, with the heart of what you do as a recruitment organisation. So Lorna, on Instagram, I think this is probably the last question that we've got for today, but Lorna on Instagram says, I've got a fantastic concept that loads of my friends and family think is a great idea, but I've never started a business from scratch before. I'm a bit clueless. Where should I start? I'm eager to learn, but scared about not doing things right. Congratulations, Lorna. I think the first thing is you're never going to do things right. As you can see, my alarm has gone off twice in this talk. I've loved being here with you all today. But yeah, you're never going to do things right. Things are never going to be perfect. Go for it. You've made a great start by speaking to your family and friends. Really, really good. You now need to go one step further and really validate your proposition. Can they kind of push the survey? Let's say if you do have a survey out to a wider set of people, can you get it out on Facebook? Can you get it out on Instagram? Can you get it to a wider set of people, or wider audience, to help you really refine that proposition? Do people really need it? Do people really want it? Are people willing to pay for it? Which is a really important question. How much? What is the ballpark that people are willing to pay for it? Get all of that data, really dig and interrogate. Once you have that, refine the proposition, the solution, the concept that you're offering, and get out there and build a community. I think I kind of did it myself by accident. I built this community by accident, but the brilliant thing about building community is that as you start to refine your concept, you can test your concept, you can take them on the journey with you, and then when you have something ready to launch, you have people that are ready, eager and willing to support you, and then you have fans hopefully that will spread the word around your concept. So I hope that helps. So I'm going to jump to the poll results now. Thank you so much for all of the questions, the brilliant questions that have come through today. So the poll results: have you found it hard? Sorry, I'm going to start this again. The question that we asked was, have you found it hard to balance your work whilst raising children? 50% of you said yes, 40% of you said sometimes, and 10% of you said no. Brilliant. So I love that 10% of people are absolutely, it seems, kind of bossing it and raising their children whilst balancing their work. It doesn't surprise me that 50% of people said yes and 40% of people said sometimes. It absolutely is one of those things that I call kind of raising children and working. I call it the beautiful roller coaster because sometimes it's full of ups and downs, but at the same time it's full of wonderful, beautiful learning moments. And so yeah, there's lots of ups and downs, so I'm not surprised at all that 50% of you said yes, that you sometimes find it hard, and 40% of you said sometimes. So that brings us to a close. The time has absolutely flown by, so thank you so much for being here today and tuning in this morning. If you want to get in contact with me, then please do. You can drop me a message at info@mybumpay.com, or find me on Instagram at my bump pay. Feel free to drop me a message there, and either myself or one of the team will get back to you as quickly as we possibly can. Coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow, we have the founder and accountant the founder of Accountant She, Rachel Martin. Tune in to find out how she leads female entrepreneurs and clients to success. A reminder that if you need any more advice, be sure to join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community on Facebook. Accountants and business experts are on hand 24/7. I've loved answering all of your questions today, and have a great day. Goodbye.